Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Can
Yeah,
you hear me? Does that
yes, I
work?
can.
Okay, awesome.
This is great. First go, it's just working.
Good session this morning.
Thank you. Yeah, Jackie did most of it. Like she was brilliant. And yeah, you said you got a new sale.
Yeah, that's made easy,
That's fantastic.
which is exciting. Yeah.
You wanted to get straight into headlines?
Yes. So I was looking to do headlines for women who are in corporate, who have been in corporate, who would like to build something at home that don't want to be in corporate anymore, because that's where I was coming from.
Yeah. So how's that gone for you so far? Or how's it going at the moment?
So I I've written some ebooks, but I haven't been focusing particularly on that market. So I was focusing on how to start a business or how to improve your business, but I didn't get traction with that. So I thought, from my heart, where I come from is from a
Yeah.
corporate background, having worked in forensic and in medical sales, and that's where I could relate to women, and that's where I felt the most comfortable. That's where I
Yeah.
got, the most connection, I guess.
Great. What's a post you've done that's had the most traction so far?
About being in corporate or about anything.
Or just any?
I often get the most traction when I talk about my background, where I've come from, and that I've overcome, finding out there's something wrong with Imogen.
Yeah, okay. So like a lot of story stuff really helps.
Yeah.
With the corporate stuff, like what's worked the best with that so far?
Well, I haven't really focused on coming from the corporate background. It's mostly been about Imogen. Um,
Yeah.
and I guess I didn't really progress to the next steps.
Okay.
And one thing that I thought some time ago, I've talked a lot about being a carer, but not
Yeah.
about the next phase. I know somebody said to me some time ago, don't call me a carer because it's really draining my energy.
Okay.
So
So who'd said that?
a friend who's also a carer of a child with special needs, she said,
Yeah.
so don't call me a carer. So I was sort of conscious of that, to focus on a different demographic rather than carers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because Imogen's been because she has like what epilepsy and
So she has a muscle condition. She's 19. She doesn't walk or talk. She's nil by mouth. So she's
okay,
24/7 care.
yeah, can be quite busy. So with today, like, what would you say if you could get anything out of today? What would that be?
So to write some headlines. So we talked about writing some headlines. So I've written some down, and I've thought about what are some of the things that people tell me. So what I'd like to get out of today is to land some headlines that um, will get some traction.
Okay, so let's I'm going to share my screen. So can you see that?
Not yet. Started sharing screen.
Yeah.
Technology's great, isn't it? It's just a bit slow at the moment.
Yeah. But you can see it. Has it come up or?
Yep.
Good. Okay. So we've got the headline acronym that we use. So how many affect advantage duration loss, issue, negation, and expiry. And so what I like to do to begin with is like put in some like, joke ones before serious ones. But like here's like one that I had, which was like a serious one. 7 steps to attract 20 clients per week in 20 minutes per day. If you've already spent thousands of dollars in marketing, you find selling aggressive and painful, and it feels like the wrong time to start. But you still want results before spring's over. And so we've
Yeah.
managed to do this for like for money, for health, relationship stuff, and get like hundreds of IMINs and emails per week. So like to basically to get like a real nice chunk of, let's say, like just 500 new email addresses over the next like couple of weeks. But then here's another joke one that I've done, because like we use it just to try to get like the energy flowing, just to sort of go, each part is a lot easier to fulfill on if you find that like, you know, that mental fertility is like really happening. So we call this one
I like that. 7
Yeah.
steps to kidnap the boyfriend of your dreams in under 60 seconds.
Yep. If your last one's starved to death, there are no men left in your village, you don't even like men, before The Bachelor comes on. And
Did you write an ebook on that? Can I have that?
No worries. But compared to like a lot of posts that I've seen, like just people out there doing, that they start with things like they'll say quick question, or like, or hey guys, and just something that's completely off topic. And so this is a formula that's just worked so well for us, because in a way, like you can't go wrong with it. Or another one was like 3 steps to ethically take advantage of your sales staff to grow your client list. And people like that sort of juxtaposition of like take advantage but ethical. Day and night while you sleep. If your staff are indifferent at the end of the week, if Australian law won't let you easily let you fire easily and outsource staff is a joke. If you don't actually want to work on yourself or your business, you just want everyone else to work on their attitude. And you need to double your sales by the end of this quarter to afford your Ferrari. So that was a joke one, but it's kind of like the more we get into the joke ones, the easier it is to write a series. Or another one we had, 10 steps to not go crazy running your own business before you burn out in the next 6 months. If you're about to write red drum on the walls, I don't know if you've seen, you know, The Shining, where people would write, they were writing red rum on the wall because like it's murder backwards.
Oh, okay.
So it was like it's an old reference. And if you're alone in your house, no one to talk to, and your cat decides to go and live with another owner, and you think that social media is for duck face and birthdays and you're too cool for social media, before the stress wrinkles turn you into a shut-in human. So let's work on some for yours. And so
some funny ones.
Yeah, so when we do the serious ones, like the 2 columns that I tend to try to fill, like you've seen like what we call like the DDFF, like where there's the dreams, desires, fears, frustrations. So the D is like, you know, the dreams and desires. We basically just come up with a list here. So we come up with 20, and then loss, issue, or negation can be the Fs. But let's start with a funny one just to sort of get something happening. So what's maybe, if we said like 5 ways.
How to leave your corporate job if you crashed the corporate car last week before you have to tell your boss.
Leave your corporate job. So the issue, if you've crashed your corporate car issue and you haven't told your boss. Negation. So a negation is basically supposed to be a reason not to do this. So it's kind of like, you know, if the money is too, well, let's say like if the coffee is too great.
If the car's a Lamborghini and you like driving it.
Okay. How do you spell that?
Lamborghini. Lamborghini.
Yep. Before
your boss finds out.
Your boss gets back from lunch and sees the car. So the duration in 3 minutes. So if we read the whole thing, it's way more interesting than like, you know, how to do better at business or like just how to leave your job. We've got 5 ways to leave your corporate job in 3 minutes if you've crashed your corporate car and you haven't told your boss if the car is a Lamborghini before your boss gets back from lunch and sees the car. It's so much more interesting than just like the average posts that people do. So now let's get some goods and bads, because we were calling this basically like how to, or just how to, then good thing, bad thing, reason not to. So what are some good things? Like what's an actual solid promise that can activate greed? Like we were talking about Jackie's post that got deleted from a group, mainly because like it was just taking over the whole group. Like that everybody was saying I'm into it, and it was easily on its path to like 700 comments. But she was nearly up to 300. She was up to like 280 just in a few days, and that's why
Yep.
kind of like it was sort of like taking over the group, which is a success because it means like now she's putting money on it. And so what she promised was like 25 profitable groups that you can post in.
Yeah.
In your case, like what's the greed that we're activating? Just like how Jackie was saying, 25 profitable groups that you can post in. That's the greed. What do people want from you?
So they want to know the steps to leave their corporate job.
Sorry, what was that?
They want to know the steps to leave their corporate job. So they're in a job that they feel demoralized, not valued. So they want to feel that they can build a project, build a business where they can feel valued.
Okay, so generally, because like the steps are the steps, that what people want is the greed comes from the outcome, or the outcome that your steps can help them to get. So what's another way of what's another thing that they could be really greedy for?
Income of their own.
Let's say create a 6-figure income.
Yeah.
What's something else they could be greedy for?
Acknowledgement. A feeling, like adoration.
Let's put it in the bad. If your job lacks acknowledgement. I don't know. So what we really want to create is something that people could potentially want to say, like, yes, you're giving it to me for free in an ebook or a video, but I would actually spend money on that. And acknowledgement, it's not that it's a bad one, we just need to rephrase it.
The feeling.
People, acknowledgement can come from anywhere. So like, you could give them acknowledgement, the boss could give them acknowledgement. We really want to say that like we want them to have a job where the acknowledgement comes directly from the people that they look up to.
Yeah.
So it's something like how to.
So they want to get out of their job. They want an income. They want to know how to recreate that big income that they're on. Maybe they want to have a nice car.
So let's to begin with, because like stuff about income is good. I just want to get more specific on it. The car could be great if it's something that like, let's say, get a job that comes with a nice car, but also like the acknowledgement coming from the boss. I just want to go back to that one and like have something that kind of like creates greed. Like if we went like 6 industries to join for maximum job satisfaction, or
So if you're getting out of your day job, if you're going to join an industry for job satisfaction, the sorts of things that they do, or they can do, is the energetic healing, kinesiology.
So yeah, so we went like start your own healing practice.
Yeah.
Attract 20 healing clients. Like this is the tangible step. It's like it's on their to-do list. Like everyone in their brain, they've got their own to-do list that they have to get done. And if your words for your headline matches that to-do list, they'll follow it, and then they can type the I'm in at the end.
So attract 20 clients for a new business before you sack your boss. Like so that you've established an income before you leave.
So under the bad things, so let's say things like, I'm just going to move this out a little bit.
Yeah.
We could say under issue, if you can't, so if you are living paycheck to paycheck, or if your savings won't let you take 2 weeks off. So we're kind of like pointing out like the issue there for them is they need to do it simultaneously, but like we're putting it into the loss column. So from here we can pretty much make like if I cut this one, so you're feeling, so 3 steps to create a 6-figure income in your healing practice in like, what's a time frame? Let's say like
6 months, 6 steps.
So a duration could be like, you know, how much time per day, or it could be like in 2 weeks or in 6 weeks. It could be like, say if we went within 4 weeks, like 3 steps to create a 6-figure income, sorry, 6-figure income in your healing practice within 4 weeks. If you're feeling not valued and your savings won't let you take 2 weeks off, then we could even go to a negation and say, you've heard that it's a bad time to take risks. And the expiry, you still want to retire, or if I just say, and you're retiring in 6 years. So now the whole thing, 3 steps to create a 6-figure income in your healing practice in 4 weeks. If you're not feeling valued in your job, if your savings won't let you take 2 weeks off, you've heard that it's a bad time to take risks, and you're retiring in 6 years. So once we take like a headline like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to put the whole headline out, but the idea is like to expand out, like to come up with 20 of these. And then at that point, you can start shortening it. Like one of my best headlines that I had was how to create a course and sell 10 in 4 hours. And then it was type I'm in to get the free ebook, because it was specific. Like it actually started off as like about like, 50 words, but then once the words are there, it's easy just to put lines through it and just like cross that out, cross that out, cross that out. And what we found is like, we wanted to have like a promise, which is like the 4-hour course. But the 4-hour course is also a time frame. It basically says that you can get it done in 4 hours. So what's maybe like some other?
Well, that's probably one that I could use. How to create a course in 4 hours before you quit your day job.
So I'm careful like with sentences like before you quit your day job, because
you don't want to quit your day job.
It very much matches like language like from the 80s that people that they've tuned out. It sounds like kind of like advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, it specifically can sound like a bit of like corporate advertising stuff. What I like to use is like plain language, like before you quit your day job. If we could change that into like what we were saying here, like, I mean, like why would they do that before they quit their day job? Is it literally just like because they're living paycheck to paycheck?
Because the people that I've spoken to have a corporate income, and they need to overcome that before they can get out. They feel demoralized, but they need to establish an income to sustain their lifestyle before they can quit. So they might be geared. They might have property investments that they need to cover.
Oh, okay. That's really good, actually. So if it was like how to create a course in 4 hours that you can sell as a passive income, if you need to establish your income to sustain your lifestyle using your assets before you let go of your corporate income. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You need to establish an income to sustain. Yep.
Yeah, so how to create a course in 4 hours that you can sell as a passive income. Yeah, if you need to establish an income to sustain your lifestyle using your assets before you let go of your corporate income. So with that, then we can kind of shorten it as well. But the idea with this, if I can, in a way, like leave some of that as homework for you, and then let's like then turn one of those into a full post. So even like with that one, if we said like how to create a course in 4 hours that you can sell as passive income, under it, then what's the actual like giveaway that you're going to give? Like, is it a video or is it an ebook?
An ebook.
Yeah. So then we then leave a blank line. Then we say, type I'm in to download so what's your ebook
Cool.
called?
How to create a course in 4 hours to cover your corporate income.
So now that we've got that, we can experiment with it and just say, what if it was, the whole thing was how to create a course, we'll say an online course in 4 hours to cover your corporate income. What do you think of that one? So if it was basically, yeah, how to create an online course in 4 hours to cover your corporate income, type I'm in to download my free guide, 4-hour online course.
Okay, sounds good.
Excellent. And so then the idea with that would be like in putting it into Facebook. So you've seen those posts where I'm just going to go back to just face. So on Facebook, so this would be like what it looks like. I'm not going to post it, but so I'm just going to write, what was it? So how to
create an online course in 4 hours.
I really like the cover your corporate income.
Yep.
So then I'll just hold this up to the screen. So you can see that one? Or does that come up? Oh, it's doing something. That was strange.
Put your finger on it, maybe. How to cover your corporate income. Yep. Okay.
Good. And then type I'm in to download cool.
Yeah. So I've got an ebook already that I can mock up for that.
Perfect. Okay. So what I would suggest, if you're happy to basically use that headline formula and come up with like 20 headlines like that. So if you could basically, we'll call that number 1. And if you can go through that process and come up with like another 19, but then also you were asking about like how to find like what more Facebook groups?
Oh, that was a different question, yeah.
Yeah. So it could even be something we could do like another full webinar on. But basically something that's really helped me out, besides like, like how we've got like, lists already, like with, 300 different groups, is just in the search bar, like we've got like the DDFF, like with the dreams, desires, fears, frustrations. Or like once you've got like those 20 headlines where it has, the advantages, like where there's the good thing, and then there's a whole list of the bad things, you start typing those keywords into the search bar and just see what groups come up.
Yeah,
and then as they do, you basically just join all of them. Facebook lets you join up to 5,000 groups, and there's 650 million Facebook groups that they let you join 5,000 of. So what we've found most useful, because like keeping track of those is the tough part. People will bring up issues about like they've got particular rules in the group. Sometimes they won't let you post, or they won't let you post except for one particular day. So when you've got a spreadsheet, so just like that Excel spreadsheet that we have, if you could have one that has like the names of all of the groups, the days that you can post, and then next to it, just any special requirements, as in this one says, no yes letters. So then you just don't do it in that particular one.
Yeah.
And if you can, like, come up with like a list of like at least 50 of these groups that you can post in. And then we've got like other videos that we've got, like we talk about, like once people type them in, there's literally just like with lead pages or like whatever you're going to use, like it could be ClickFunnels, Kajabi, Kartra, any of those things, anything that allows you to create an opt-in page, you then just share the opt-in page link to send them to the opt-in page that has a picture of your ebook. But then it has a button where people have to put in their name, email address, and phone number before they can get the ebook. Then it sends that ebook to them to their email address. And at that point, you can then even have like an offer on the thank you page. Because you can imagine, like, once you've got like, 500 more email addresses, like 500 new leads, it makes doing business a lot easier, because then you can often, have this content calendar. Like every time you create a new post, every time you create a new ebook, or every time you create any new piece of content, or anytime like you interview somebody, it could even be like with this, what we're doing. You can then email that to them. And there's something that Gary Vee says, which I really love about funnels. It's kind of like that there's 3 left jabs and then a right hook. And so what that stands for is basically the left jab is give free value and don't ask for anything back, then give free value, then give free value. And then the right hook is when you basically then make a sales offer. And that's where a sales offer has to have like as a minimum, like we basically say name, steps, and price. There needs to be a lot of people are looking for more money in their businesses, but they don't necessarily have a program that's ready for people to buy. And even if your product is just face-to-face, or like if there's a lockdown stuff, it's like face-to-face but Zoom, which is something that people are getting very accustomed to now, because the need for experts is as strong as ever. It's just that we've got some restrictions as to who can see who face-to-face. But it puts you in a global community, which means a lot of old excuses that people have for like not doing business anymore, as in like, I live in a small town, the people around me are the wrong age, or the people around me have the wrong amount of money in their bank accounts. All of that's gone. Because this is like the great equalizer in a way that like Zoom calls puts us all on the same footing. There are so many free tools out there that we can use. Like it's like finding new Facebook groups and using these posts that, like when I did a post based on like, because I had an ebook called 4-Hour Course, I got about 500 new people download it. And so in lead pages, like you can basically see that it says like unique visitors or like email addresses. And it shows you like, 500 email addresses of people that downloaded that, because there's a greed that it activates. And people tend to be greedy for like 5 things. The 3 main ones tend to be money, health, or relationships. And this was very much a money one. But it was also basically there's time and happiness. And so it spoke very much about time because it's the 4-hour course. But then it's also with happiness, it's like not like building a course is usually like it's a passion project. People want to get paid for it, but at the same time, they want to really love the process. They wouldn't do, like if all they wanted to do was to make money, they would either stack shelves, become a builder, or they might work on the stock market. Doing something creatively, like it's a real passion project. So it really covers like 3 of these things. It potentially could cover like even health if they found that their job was stressing them out. It can potentially help them with relationships if they found that they can spend more time at home because of that free time that it saves. So 4-hour course was just It was an amazing headline. Alrighty.
You're right about the passion project. So usually they're women that have an education, but they don't feel fulfilled. So you're right. They could stack, lay bricks or stack shelves.
Exactly. So I'll just send you that text that we did for that ad.
Okay.
So I've just sent that to you in Messenger. So it'd be really interesting to hear, kind of like in the groups that you join, like how well that one does. Alrighty.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions that you wanted to ask me today?
No.
No worries. And you happy for me to post this into the group for people?
Sure. Yep.
Excellent.
Should be fun.
Alrighty. Well, let's talk soon. And thank you so much for volunteering for this because it's been great. It's just, there's a process for everything. And as long as we follow it, like, the results are amazing. It's not that hard to, just do one column and then you can run out of ideas for that column. So you move on to the next one and then you can just exhaust ideas for that column. And then like, once it's all there, there's not that much thinking left to do that. Like when you wake up going like, I've got to do this again. It's like, but that's okay because I'm just going to copy and paste my content calendar into my group calendar. Like Jackie and I very much, we go off this, this group calendar, which says like, okay, it's Monday. What are my Monday groups? It's Tuesday. What are my Tuesday groups? And what are the exceptions? Is in like what particular posts can't be posted in those?
I've got a group calendar in a spreadsheet. I did that, but
Excellent.
It's so big.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of picking just a couple of groups and just posting on the days. So that's what I was going to do, rather than trying to be everywhere, which was kind of what your webinar spoke to today. Just post it a couple of days a week.
Yeah. And it's really like the power comes from the headline. Like with the way I like to look at Facebook is like they're a publishing company that doesn't pay their authors because like you're the author. And so the better you do, the more engagement you get, the more of your content they put out. And they measure that through engagement, and getting people to type I'm in is the number one way basically to get this megaphone sent out like to everybody, because it goes, you just got 5 I'm ins. Well, let's push it out to see if you get another 20. Let's push that out to see if you get another 30. Let's push that out to see if you get another 400, which is really awesome. Alrighty, so let's wrap it up. And thanks so much for like volunteering for this.
I'll post it and see how I go and give you feedback next week.
Absolutely. I would love to hear how it goes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Scott.
No worries. Talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
Bye.